Hi everyone. It is 4:30 on a Thursday. It is July 7th, 2022. A year ago at this time, I was just coming back from the hospital after a very long day of biopsies, poking, prodding, and at the end of the ultrasound biopsy, because I had been there for so long, I asked them, like, am I good? Can you tell anything? Because I was just supposed to go in for, a baseline MRI, because my mom had been diagnosed with breast cancer. She was stage 0, no BRCA gene, none of that. But my gynecologist thought, hey, let's just do a baseline. Okay, let's just do a baseline. And I did, and then they called and said, no, gotta go and do biopsies. And I'm like, okay. I've had biopsies before, like not on my boobs, but I have had like uterine and cervical biopsies before. So I wasn't thinking too much, but being that I was there for a really long time, I figured either they're being really, I figured that they were just being really thorough. And when I asked at the end, can you tell me anything? Or assuming I would need to wait, and they would just say, no, well, we have to talk to X, Y, and Z. And she said to me, she looked me square in the eye, and she said, you're not gonna die from this. And that was how I learned that I had breast cancer a year ago. And I didn't believe her, because I'm like, ah, she's just a tech, what does she know? Which is so dumb, because the techs are the ones that find shit. They're the ones that know, and they're the ones that, look into it deeper and then see what the hell's going on. So like when I started my vlogs and stuff, I'm not going to go back and rewatch them. Maybe if I'm feeling really down, I'll go watch them, but I don't want to watch them. I don't remember if my first vlog was on July 7th or if it was July 9th, because July 9th was when they called me with the biopsy results to confirm and give me big word names. And I don't even want to get into that, because a year ago now, I didn't know those words, and I didn't know I was getting that phone call. So I just need to, literally just walked in from work and stayed a little bit longer, and then I'm like, I'm pooped. And I need to process a little bit today. This morning, I was on a 2-hour Zoom, haven't done that in a very long time. I was on a 2-hour Zoom for a program I've been trying to get into since the fall, I think. Stress management and resiliency training. I feel like I could teach a course on resilience training, because if there's one word people use to describe me, it's resilient. Whoopee! I don't want to have to be resilient, but yeah. And I feel like I do manage my stress pretty well, but I mean, this is just for people that are, that have had cancer, and I can't really talk much about it because, it's confidential about who's in the program and stuff, but it's through MGH, and, my biggest goal from taking this course, or whatever you want to call it, training program, is that all the roller coaster of what's been the past year, I need it to be more like this, and I don't want to medicate more. I've tried meditating, I've tried, whatever stuff. I think in general, I'm handling it pretty well. You see my highs and lows, and when I see people in person, they're like, oh, you're doing so great. And at moments I am. And as, you know, as time goes on, yeah. But it's not like I don't have my moments of crazy. I just don't always, like, I don't go into public when I'm in sensory overload. I save those for when I'm like, hey, I'll just share with everyone and put it on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, this morning, like I knew like today was like the day. I was at the gynecologist yesterday. So like that was weird because I said it's been about a year since I was here last time, but I was just downstairs and I was there for, oh my gosh, I think I got there at like 8 or 9 in the morning, and I honestly don't even remember the order of everything, but they did, I think I had like a regular mammogram, and then honestly, I don't even remember all of it, but I did stuff that didn't involve needles, I think. And then after a while, they're like, you know, she needs a break. And I went to get lunch at the cafeteria at the hospital. And then I came back, and I knew that that point was when they were doing the biopsies, or maybe finishing the biopsies. I honestly don't remember. But I was waiting like in a small little waiting room, like by myself for like a long time. And I just kept seeing all the different people that were taking different tests all converging together. And I'm like, well, this can't be good. But I thought it was just like something was up. I never, not that I'm like uber Mrs. Optimism, but I never thought that like, I don't know, that I would have breast cancer. Like lung cancer, like, yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes, like, socially. I didn't do it a lot. I mean, there are points when I, like, chain smoked when I was super stressed out, but in the grand scheme of, like, my life, I didn't smoke for very long. So I'm like, yeah, well, then I would deserve it if I got lung cancer. Or, you know, I'm so fair-skinned and I'm out in the sun and I have all these freckles and whatever. So if I got skin cancer, sure, that would make sense because, you know, I probably shouldn't be in the sun at all because my skin's so fair. But, like, I didn't do anything to make me deserve to get breast cancer. And I get there's no morality with any of it. Just go along with me here. But yeah, it's hard not to put like blame on something. Like, what did I do? What did I not do? You know, I ate cauliflower because cauliflower is supposed to be anti whatever it is. You know, it's supposed to reduce your risk of getting cancer if you have cauliflower. You know, I don't eat like burnt things. There's a million things that I could think of that like I did the right way. Before all this happened, I was like in great shape. Like my show was doing great. I won the ACM award for best profile talk show in the Northeast, which was like so exciting. The world was my oyster. And then it's like weird shit started happening and I'm like, why do I have brain fog? Why do I got a kidney stone? Why did I get a kidney stone? Like, that's random. I eat healthy. I didn't drink enough. So I feel like, okay, that was my lesson. I didn't drink enough water. That's kind of been my life story. 50 years later, now I drink a lot of water because I got the kidney stone and I feel like, you know, maybe I deserve the kidney stone because it was like my body's way of saying to me, like, lady, you need to drink more water. Was it because of my water intake? I don't know. It's good to drink a lot of water anyway, but I think I had the kidney stone because my body was off. And they estimated I probably had my cancer for 1.5 years before they found it. So, yeah, I came home and my friend that took me, I was going to drive myself and she's like, no, I'll drive you. I'm like, okay. And she was going through cancer treatments herself. So it's a little ironic that she was the one out of everyone to take me. Maybe she knew. I don't know. Do people that have cancer have like a sixth sense for other people that are going to get cancer? Or that have it that don't know it? I don't know. But she picked me up and got in her car and I looked at her, and I don't know exactly what I said, but I was like, they told me I have cancer and I'm not going to die from it. Or whatever I said. Like when I got out of the car to go there, I was not intending or expecting that that was going to be the result. And then what was so hard was when I got home, I couldn't tell my kids. I mean, I could, but like I wasn't going to. I didn't know for sure. So I'm like, why would I say anything if, you know, if it's not for sure? Maybe they did something wrong. Maybe they, you know, they don't know what they're talking about. The 6 or 7 techs that were working on me all don't know what they're talking about. But even when I found out for sure, they had told me or encouraged me not to tell my kids until I spoke to, I think the breast surgeon, or maybe the breast surgeon's nurse or something, just so that I would have, like appropriate words to use to relay the information to them without scaring them. So yeah, that was really hard because when I started vlogging on my own, because I couldn't keep it inside, but I couldn't tell anyone. You know, like once you tell one person, it's like everyone knows. I couldn't say anything. I'm like, well, maybe there's nothing to say, you know, but apparently there was. And then just like everything happened so fast. It's a weird time right now too. Like I work in finance, and it's the beginning of July. So like our fiscal year ends June 30th, as a lot of places do. So there's like, July is like my super busy time. And I thought like today I was working later than I usually work because I just have a lot of stuff to get done. And I'm thinking like, well, a year ago, it was also the, you know, end of the one fiscal year, beginning of another one, and time for reporting and mathing and all that stuff. Like, how did I even do that then? Like, how did I have my wits about me to like get my job done? And not make mistakes too. Like there were mistakes made when I was out. They've been fixed now. Like I was on leave for what, like 3 months or something. But my surgery wasn't until August 20th. So I can't say I'm 1 year cancer free, you know, like this is just when the journey began. There's a lot to process. And you know, it's interesting today too, like the air conditioner at work broke, and it's like, it's hot out. It's like 90 or something. And I'm hot all the time anyway, because like hormone therapy, menopause, all that stuff that's happened since the cancer thing. And when I got off my 2-hour Zoom, I had my fan on during the Zoom, and my little handheld one, and I left it on the kitchen table, and I realized it when I got in the car, and I'm like, I'll be fine. And I go to work and I'm like dripping, sweating, but like, I don't care. I don't care. I used the curling iron this morning. Something I have control over. I don't know. I was, yeah, I woke up and my hair looked pretty decent, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and used the curling iron. I never use the curling iron. And I don't need to be like weird and I'll like, you know, dramatic pause, William Shatner, the way I'm talking. It's just like, there's a million thoughts in my head right now, and it almost makes you want to slow down more. And it's funny when I look at the back, like I sit in this chair because it's like super comfy, and there's always the wine glasses behind me, and I don't drink a lot at all anymore. Not that I drink a lot before, but like I don't really drink a lot. It's on very rare occasion that I drink, and I get paranoid now more so that, like, you know, drinking alcohol is not a smart idea if you've had cancer. Yet that cabinet's there with all those glasses in it that I just don't use. And the beer signs, they just look cool. I don't know. I mean, I do self-talk a lot. And like on the way home, on the drive home from work just now, I was like saying some like pretty interesting things in the car. I'm like, oh, I'll share that during my vlog, and it's all gone. I guess, like, in the grand scheme of everything, like reflecting on a year ago today, I could list all the things that like happened, or all the things that went wrong, or whatever. And the biggest thing that I'm noticing is just like, there's so much stuff that just doesn't matter. You know, like, you think things are such a big deal, and they just don't matter. I saw someone today get like really upset about something, and I'm like, I'm not going to get involved in that little circus over there. I'm going to leave that circus over there, and I'm just going to do my thing over here. Because I'm like, in the grand scheme of life, I'm like, it doesn't matter. I know it matters to you right now. But when you're faced with something like this, and you're told, like, you know, make sure you get your affairs in order, get your will updated, you know, work on a trust for the kids, and who do you want to be your healthcare proxy, and like, if you were to die, how do you want to, you know, how do you want to go? That's not what I meant. I meant, like, how do you, like, do you want to be buried? Do you want to be cremated? I want to be made into a tree, by the way. They have those pods where you take like a person and like you plant a tree. And like, I'd like to be like put back with nature again. And like, when everyone sees that tree, they'd be like, hey Jen. And you'll have a squirrel that lives in me, and a cardinal that, you know, builds a nest in my branches. I just think it's a cool thing to do. I do not want to be cremated. But it's crazy that you have to think about all those things. And, you know, there's something to be said about people that face adversity, and people that face things where, I mean, you have to plan for what happens if you're not here tomorrow. You know, what happens if the surgery didn't go well? As a single parent, it'd be stupid of me to not put things in place for my kids. And I'm blessed to know the people that I know that made shit happen so fast for me, that they're like, okay, here's the papers, sit down, sign, notarize. Like, there's so much stuff that was done so fast. And awakenings, and, you know, some people that were like, whatever you need, Jen. And then when I did reach out when there was stuff that I needed, it was like, poof. And I'm, you know, it's interesting because I'm walking in the, I have to get a fundraiser up actually. I'm walking in the Runway for Recovery show in October, which is a fundraiser to support caregivers of breast cancer. Well, not always survivors. I mean, patients, I guess. I don't know what you call them, people that have had breast cancer. And it's interesting because I didn't realize that Runways was all about the caregivers. And if you rewind to a lot of vlogs, I didn't have a ton of caregivers. I shouldn't say that. I had a lot of caregivers. I'm not wording this right. You know, when you think of it like, you know, oh, is your mom coming to help you? You know, do you have a sibling? Is your significant other coming? You know, is your best friend staying? Whatever. like, I don't have family here. Not everyone has this, like, picture perfect, you know, team that's there. And I think that I had this, like, picture of, like, okay, they said they do this, so that means they're going to do this. And I put people into roles of what I thought they would do and what I needed. And I think what I didn't really consider was what they could do for me. It's not about what they wanted to do for me, it's what they could do for me. And I think in a lot of my vlogs, I always feel bad because there were a lot of friends of mine who either I haven't talked to them in a year or just under a year. Because like when shit started, you know, hitting the fan, a lot of people just like left. And some were like, well, you didn't reach out to me. And it's like, when this shit's going on, like, I'm not looking at like, you know, okay, who didn't I reach out to today? Like, I need people to come to me. If there's a time to be selfish, it's after you have a cancer diagnosis. And I don't even think of it as selfish. I think it's selfful that you're taking care of yourself, to give yourself, you know, food, clothing, shelter, love, whatever. But I didn't, you know, I'm not saying this as a pity party. I'm just saying, like, my circumstances, like, you know, I didn't have a husband to be here to be like, okay, you know, you go lay on the couch, I'll go do this. That wasn't the case. My older son was, I think he had already left he was home when I got my diagnosis, but then he was going to school and he left a couple of days, I think, before my surgery. And I wanted to, like, I didn't want to stop his life to be home to deal with, you know, this stuff. He did come home to see me after my surgery. He came back. They did a car parade. And again, people in the car parade, I was like, oh, I thought I would see like A through X. And that's not who I saw. And it's just so interesting now. It was like, you know, I did make people wrong about it. And through all the work that I've done, and like, I've talked about Landmark before, but like the second communication course with Landmark, the biggest thing I pulled out of that was controlling outcomes. Like thinking that you can do all these things to control an outcome and have things work out the way you want them to, and the way they should work out, and the way you deserve to have them work out. And that's just not life. People aren't puppets. You know, people are people, and they have their own stuff. And you have to take, you know, what comes at you and realize what a gift that is. And like, was I disappointed with certain people? Abso-freaking-lutely. But then I realized, like, you know, I missed this person because they gave me this. I might have asked them for this, and maybe they couldn't give me that. But I missed them because they did give me this. And there's so many people. There are so many people that came to my car parade. It was small. It was like 10 people or whatever. But those people, like, was I close with them? Most of them, no. One I had never even met before. It was a spouse of somebody else. But I think of, like, you know, when I say food, clothing, shelter, like, it's, you know, I have to figure out, yeah, how am I going to take care of stuff with keeping a roof over our house and having my rent paid and all that stuff. And the hospital helped with that. There's so many resources. I'm so blessed to be where I am, that there are so many resources here. Boston is a great place to be for health, anything. But the social worker helped me out with a lot of stuff, getting me set up with taking leave from work, like all of that kind of stuff. Clothing, I had people step up that ran to the store to get me bras when my boobs hurt after the biopsies. She was the first person actually to find out for sure that I had cancer, because she was dropping off my bras when I got the phone call. It was on a Friday night. Yeah. The clothes, yeah, I had friends that mailed me things, mailed me clothes, and they looked like they were so big, and they were perfect because they were so big and flowy, and I did that one. I know she doesn't like when, not that she doesn't like, but she's like, you don't have to like toot my horn, whatever. I did that vlog about everyone should have a friend like Laura. I was fine. Because I've been messaging her. We've been messaging back and forth almost every single day since my diagnosis. And our relationship has gotten very, deep and close. And it's just, not that it's random, you know people to be certain ways or certain things, and you know, this is my fun friend, and this is my friend who does book clubs and whatever. And, Laura was the friend that I met that I just clicked with, and I honestly probably had only seen her in person a handful of times, because she doesn't live in the area anymore. And she would send cards a lot. Just goofy things, stickers. I still have the stickers. I use them as motivation stuff when I do my PT exercises. Who doesn't love stickers, you know? But yesterday, when I was thinking about today, she said something about this is this is the first day that our friendship really blossomed. Whatever she said, something like that. And it made me realize that yeah, it was a horrible thing in so many different ways. And I got out of it a really great relationship with a friend. And lots of other things too that I'll focus more on and organize my thoughts. But when she turned it around and said that to me, this is the first day that, you know, our friendship really became like this. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Weird that this is a circumstance behind it, but yeah. And I'm grateful for that. My friend Diane, if you are watching, I've known Diane since middle school. We messaged all the time, back and forth. And had some pretty deep things. Especially since this has all happened with me. And I am so grateful for that. But you know, I talk about expectations so much, and what to expect from people and what not to. And I think people just, you know, I think expectations just need to go out the door. Totally. I mean, yeah, I've gone through my phases of being angry at people and whatever. And when I, going back to the runway thing, when I was interviewed for, doing an interview, I'm going for, oh, shit, I hope I didn't miss that. I thought it was this week. I need to look it up. I have to get headshots done? I'm pretty sure I would have gotten an email. Crap, I have to look. I have to get headshots done, or I get to have headshots done before the runway show, and I went for an interview, and when I was talking about like my whole cancer journey, at the end she said what she's hearing is that the biggest thing that I got out of it was my like understanding, I guess, for lack of a better word, of relationships. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Like, out of all the things that have happened, like, relationships is not what I would have, like, pull out from the whole cancer journey. But when I think about, like, my friend that brought over, like, I'm pretty sure she's vegetarian, if not vegan, but her spouse had a kidney stone, so she knew, like, the things that I could and couldn't eat. And she would just bring over things, or either she'd bring stuff, or when I was driving, I would pop by her place and she'd leave stuff outside for me. And she's like, here, just try it and see if you like it. And I knew I could eat it and not have to worry about oxalates and all that kind of garbage. I've definitely gotten way deeper relationships with people that I had friendships with before, but not to the level of the friendships I have with them now. And that never would have happened if this hadn't happened. When you have like adversity, it's, you know, you see different sides of people and people stepping up to do things. And there's some people that will just like, you know, send a gift card to make sure that their name is on a list of stuff so everyone knows, oh yeah, I helped her, but that was it. And then like I'll get a card from someone that has like it's handwritten on the top and the bottom of the card, and yes, there's a gift card in it, but they'll remind me, oh yeah, you know, remember I'm a nurse, so if you need help with your drains or something, let me know. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I totally spaced that she's a nurse, and if I needed something I could ask her. Like totally forgot. And part of it, you know, like with childbirth, when they say like, you know, you forget certain things, because if you didn't forget labor, why would you ever have more than one kid? But with my surgery, like, I mean, the drains were what they were, whatever. But then you hear people who've had like, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 surgeries to fix their boobs. And then, I mean, the drains are, you've seen them. I've vlogged with them before. Like, the drains are, what, 2 weeks of your life? Whatever. They're just part and parcel. At this point, the scars from my drains, I think, are completely gone. And the sensitivity I have is pretty much gone. I mean, obviously, I have my other scars, but, yeah, like I think, you know, in like October, when I go back to plastics for my follow-up, you know, I want him to fix my left boob. And hopefully like that'll be good for me, because I wanted my scars to lighten up, get my tattoos on, and move along my merry little way. But I think like, you know, if he works on the left side, am I going to need drains again? And like, whatever, if I need drains again, I need drains again. Now I know what to do with them, you know, like whatever it is, I'll figure it out. So it's just weird. It's weird. I'm much more self-loving too with all this stuff. I think especially when people that you don't know well that step up because they know that you're a good person, even though they're not like super tight with you. And like, hey, they help because they're good people and that's why they're helping. But also because they know like who you are. If I was some evil bitch, people wouldn't be helping me. Oh, that's so funny. I turned my cuckoo clock back on again. I don't know if you can hear it with my, I put these in because my air conditioner was running. I've had it shut off for so long because the songs were driving me bonkers. But then when I came back from Germany, I'm like, oh, I want to put it back on again. The Happy Wanderer. That's funny. It's like whenever I vlog, it always seems to turn to the hour and the Google clock goes off. Oh boy, now what was I saying? About people that I don't know very well. Oh, that like, you know, stepped up to help because they know that I'm a good person. And like, I know I'm a good person. Like I was saying, yeah, like if I was a bitch, people wouldn't be helping me as much. Yeah. But I realized that like I would like stop life to help other people. And, you know, I realized all the things that I've done and who I am as a person, that these people are helping me. And it restores faith in like the world, especially through COVID and all this crap, that there are good people in this world that will bring you food. And I mean, I always had like rides to appointments and stuff. Like that wasn't a huge deal. I was mostly getting stuff for my kids. Yeah, I had to finish up quick. It was mostly like getting stuff, well, for Caleb, because he was the one that was home. And food, like food was huge. You know, I needed sustenance. I needed energy. I needed stuff. And I got great recipes from people. Can't say I've cooked a lot since everything, but like just feeding someone is so tremendous. And I'm still like playing around with integrity a bit, because as much as I want to focus more on like what people did do and not people that said they'd do stuff and then didn't. Especially when that left me in like tough situations where like I had no dinner one night and I couldn't drive and no one was there, and I could go on Grubhub and it said it'd be like, you know, 2.5 hours to get stuff to eat. And it's an awful situation to be in. It's a very awful situation to be in. Anyway, I'm glad I got that short cry out. I was surprised that out of anything, like it was spurred by a good thing, which maybe that's good. I don't know, but I am heading to, they do a summer concert series in our town, and I'm heading to listen to some music. I have no idea what music it is. Music soothes the savage beast. I'm not savage. I'm not a beast. I'm being kind to myself. And when I went like that, it was actually Barb who's I have stuff to give her from Germany, but I don't know what I would have done without her. Truly don't. When you talk about people that just like give and have full hearts and nurturing and just give you the right kind of hug when you need it. Like, I'm blessed that I have her as a friend. It's been some journey, man. So I guess they were right about relationships is the biggest thing I pulled out of all this stuff. If that's the two things that have made me get teary-eyed. Yeah. And I'm here, you know. It's a year later, I'm here. And oh, I have new boobs. Woohoo! I don't love my boobs yet. That's still a process that's coming. But this is just where I am. A year out. I knew I'd be a long vlog, but I don't really care. I'll organize my thoughts more and do a vlog in 2 days because I feel like I need to. It'll be the weekend then, so I don't know, I won't be so pressed for time. Not that I let that stop me from doing a 40-minute vlog. But there are, you know, I did the airing of grievances for what my New Year's Eve vlog, and I never did the, you know, here's all the good things. So I think I need to do a vlog about all the good things. Yeah. The people, the self-love, the compassion, nurturing yourself, being okay if like your roots are gray, being okay if you weigh like way more than you thought you would. Like, I didn't know that was a thing, but like, whatever. My weight is like, it is what it is right now. I did lose 5 pounds, by the way, but I had some serious like GI stuff going on this past weekend. I don't know what that was about. All those things will come with time. It does take time. Gosh, if someone is watching this that was like just diagnosed, I know it sucks to wait, but it just takes time. It really does take time. They told me like, you know, first they're like, oh, 6 to 8 weeks. And then they're like 3 to 6 months. And there's 6 to 9 months. They just say that to get you like going. And you have to look at like, where were you yesterday or 2 days ago? Or are you better? If you are, then 2 thumbs up, you know. Nothing magical happens at a certain point. It's not like I can say, you know, with my boobs when it's like 12 months. Okay, it's 12 months and boom, something miraculous happens. That's just not how it works. It is a very large roller coaster. And, yeah, it's so big picture. It's so big picture. Yeah. So I'll organize my thoughts, like I said, and do another vlog in 2 days about all the good. Because I'm here and there's a lot of good and a lot to be grateful for. And I would like to share that with you. But right now I need to order food and get over to the park and put on something so I don't get eaten by mosquitoes. And not even really care what I look like, because like my hair came out good today. My makeup looks good, but I got a big old belly today and like, whatever, don't care. Don't care. It won't be there forever. I know that. But right now I just have to worry about keeping myself healthy and sustained. And yeah. Life moves on, and so am I. All right, see you in a couple days, people. Bye.